Hello, it's Nikki. Welcome back to part 12 of lessons that I learned in 2025 and intentions I'm setting for 2026. I have realized this about myself, even though I really knew it, but I feel like I've embedded it this year and been proud of it. And I've given myself full permission to do a version of it that I know comes from a good place. Let me tell you more. I have always been somebody that has spoken up maybe earlier than other people would feel comfortable with. I've been vocal about people. I've used my privilege. I'm a empath, so I've always got that sense of like who needs something in the room, who maybe doesn't have the confidence to say, or they don't have this status in that situation to feel like they could say something. And I feel like I have always wanted to give people a peek behind the scenes of the stuff that most people won't tell you. And I really realized that when I was an agent, having been an actor, and then becoming a coach. I don't earn money from agenting anymore. I stopped doing that 10, 11 years ago. However, in terms of the speaking, in terms of the acting, in terms of the coaching, in terms of what it means to bring a personal brand to life, I think sometimes with the advice out there, it's very basic. And people just say things like, you just got to get your confidence up. It's like, what does that mean? Also, around that topic, what does that mean when your confidence is broken? What does that mean in terms of dealing with that so you can move on? What does that mean in terms of the shifts that you need to make? And for a long time, even though I did speak up, I also was left with that feeling, that almost vulnerability hangover, where I would feel like I'd almost done something wrong. I think our culture was very much like, don't make a fuss, don't be seen to be controversial or saying something. However, I know the way that I do this is never like a big situation. It's actually very quiet, it's very measured, it's very open, it's very conversational, it's always looking for the solution, it's not ego driven. It's all about how we can make everything work for everybody. So I want you to think about this in terms of your business. What do you need to share with people? What do you need to begin to say out loud that currently you are not doing? I would love you to think about where you need to connect with yourself, where you need to connect with what you know to be true. And so often we have seen this in terms of like listening to the advice of experts. Now, on one hand, I think that that is an important thing to do and to lean on them, but ultimately have that sense of agency within yourself when you know something is still not right, when you know you need something else, when even though the data and the facts over here, you know your perspective, your story, your past experience is saying something different. And so what I want you to do is whenever you're tempted with your visibility strategy, with your content, to follow what's going along so you don't rock the boat, so you just enhance the conversation in that way, make sure you're always reconnecting with yourself. What is your unique perspective on this? And really bringing that to the table. I've lost track. Here we go. I want you to notice your input and your output. We are done, I'm going to say, on behalf of all of us, We are done with being busy fools. We are done with doing all of the things and being all of the things and trying to stretch the hours of work that we have available to be here, there, and everywhere. Unless you have an absolutely giant team, I'm just pulling my slippers back on, unless you have an absolutely giant team who can do all of these things, you have to work with your own capabilities, your own capacity, what you can make happen right now. So I want you to pay attention to the input, as in what you putting into your visibility, and the output. What is that circular motion? Are you just being busy, being here, all the things? Are they actually converting? I know sometimes instead of creating 30 videos, I can create one in-depth video and I will get 5 high-paying clients rather than trying to scatter all the different things and just hope for the best. I want you to zone in right now and really think about what you need to do in order to be effective. Because the way that I see it, if the actions that you're taking in your business are not growing your business, you may as well do something else. You may as well rest. You may as well have a nice time. You may as well take the day off rather than just doing more and more things just for the sake of it. I want you to fully own and work with and acknowledge that you may be one of the first. And I realized this within my own family. There are no creatives in my family. Nobody wanted to do what I was doing. Nobody had any experience or like specific advice that they could give me. And I was the first. And therefore, I had to make a lot of mistakes. And I was being watched and I was the guinea pig. However, that meant that I was also brave. And I also gave it a go. And I was willing to be the first. And I think sometimes we can feel that feedback. We can feel people watching us and judging us and analyzing us. And therefore, it feels like our mistakes are amplified. They're observed. They're noticing it. And however, I know that, say in 2 generations' time, nobody is really going to be paying attention to the mistakes that I made because they will get to skip all of that because I've made the mistakes for them, or certainly my own anyway. So I want you to keep going. Even though it feels tough, even though it really trips up your ego is like, oh, I can't believe I'm having to do this publicly. Keep going. You are the first. You are the chosen first for a reason. So let's make it happen. Finally, I want you to be and own all of your experience. 2026 is about that horse energy. It's about momentum. It's about galloping. It's about finding that flow. It's not about pushing. It's not about hustling and justifying. It's not about that kind of pushy energy. I want you to have your own visual for this. Maybe it's a cloak of all your experience, your expertise, your story, your moments of adversity, all of it that you know you get to carry. When you have that cloak on and you are galloping on that horse, can you tell I love Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves? You're not fighting this cloak. This cloak is just moving in the wind with you. So therefore, you don't need to go into the rooms and going, hi, shall I tell you about what I've done? Shall I tell you about my 3 most successful things I've done in the last 3 years? You're not having any of that pushing energy. I just want you to be it, to expand into it. And yes, that means your mistakes. The fact that you've made mistakes in your life means you've actually done something. Most of us don't make mistakes if we just sit in bed all day. And so, therefore, Be all of your experience, wear it, be proud of it, and bring it all to the table. Because later down the line, the fact that you've made that mistake or had that challenge means that you can solve something greater in the future. I hope that's been useful. I will see you for the final chunk of videos all about intention settings and lessons learned. If you could subscribe, that would be great and lovely. And I'll see you in the next one.